On this week's episode of The Smoke Break, we talk with comedian and activist Ronnie Macaroni about how systemic influences affect our mental health. We also discuss how neurodivergence is a superpower. Episodes drop on all platforms every Monday at 6 p.m. And welcome to The Smoke Break. We are here every Sunday from 9 to 10 a.m. on Shady Pines Radio, as well as Pretty Dope Xperience Radio. I'm your host, your old pal Zane, here with Zoe Schwartz.
Hello.
And comedian, activist, and all-around badass Ronnie Macaroni.
Hey.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you.
Hey, couldn't do it without y'all.
Yeah. So me and have a lot of really cool conversations on our own. Oh, me and Ronnie Macaroni. We're good friends. We're colleagues through comedy, but we're mostly friends. And I wanted to talk with you a little bit about how we have like really interesting conversations about like systemic influences on our mental health. And I feel like you have some really interesting perspectives. Earlier, we were talking about the nuclear family and sort of how you perceive that dynamic within that context. And we just want to hear what you have to say.
I have so much to say about everything. I have a lot of opinions.
Yeah, hit us with them. Hit us.
Yeah. I mean, geez, where do you even start with the nuclear family? And I mean, it all relates to capitalism, and then that all relates to slavery. But really, when you look at, people not feeling like they're enough, and mothers with postpartum, and people struggling to take care of their families, you think about the splitting of the family and the destruction of the family as we knew it, and then they told us like the nuclear family, this is how things are supposed to work out.
Yes.
And this sense of ownership over our children, which is also a capitalistic fucking thing.
Yeah. These are now your little slaves.
Yeah, exactly.
You worked hard enough, now you get tiny slaves.
Yeah. And a lot of people's, like depression and anxiety and struggles come from not being able to live up these societal standards and expectations, which are fucking false to begin with.
Sure.
It's made up, and it's made up to make you feel bad because you can never fulfill them. Because in reality, if we think about mothers giving birth, you carry a child inside you for 9 months. It takes like 2 years to recover from going through that. You're not supposed to just have 6 months of maternity. You're not even supposed to be getting up and doing stuff. You're supposed to have like an extended family and community of people who are doing the cooking and doing the cleaning and helping take the baby so you can have, peace and stuff and be able to, and also taking the baby so the baby can get the proper care that it needs so it can adjust to this fucking world.
Yeah. Good luck with that, but if you can still get the help you need.
It's like, like people, like I know somebody who just had a baby, and she's like, I can't get any rest. The baby won't sleep when I try to put her down in the bassinet. And it's just like, because that baby's they're supposed to have physical connection to learn how to continue to breathe, to learn how to co-regulate. We have so many people with so many issues. Like I think of it as like the dog who needs touch but has been abused, and so it doesn't know how to get it.
Shrieks.
So we're tight because we need something that we don't know how to receive because we weren't like brought into this world in the way that we're supposed to. This whole sleep training shit.
It's like everything's backwards. It feels like in like within like a capitalistic culture, all the things that are like natural about the way that we are supposed to like intuitively know how to care for ourselves and our families have been thrown out, and now we have all these outside rules we're supposed to follow, but they actually cause a lot of harm. Like one thing we talked about one time, or Ronnie was
you can do this.
Beep
them out.
But we talked about one time about how like when you brought that idea up to me one time, we were talking about the nuclear family and how like harm often happens like within families, right? Because people that we love still harm us sometimes, and we don't really have a way to talk about that, but two, the idea that if we lived more intergenerationally like we naturally did, that like there would be more checks and balances, more respite for parents, more people involved in the kid's life making up for the things that are hard
and the places that they're lacking.
And that's why like single parents or parents with their family lives across the country and they're just like miserable and stressed out all the time, and they feel like they're bad parents, but it's like
and they're abusing their kids, and and that's awful and stuff, but there's a reason that happens, and so much of abuse comes from not having the proper respite respite that we need.
Exactly.
Like,
Yes.
guess what? If I don't have the space and the respite I need, I'm mean to the people that I love too.
Exactly.
Yeah. Amen to that.
And, you know, and I'm my better, it's like, you know, fuck Louis C.K. and his whole dick rubbing bit, but he talked about how he was a better parent because he was only a parent half of the time.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like
you can show up better.
You can show up better for people when you have the proper care that you need
and time to yourself.
Yeah. Well, just having like that amount of space for yourself where you're giving yourself time and then giving the people you want to give time.
Exactly.
It's the problem is like when you start neglecting that for yourself, now you can't even like authentically give the people that you want to as much as you want to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like we're not able to care for ourselves. So, like the self-care isn't an option for a lot of people that is required to be mentally stable, regardless of what your experience or what your diagnosis is.
Yeah. Well, like I grew up with a single mom, and I saw her trying to make ends meet. I saw her trying to not only get everything paid, but like keep me out of trouble. And it's like one of those is hard enough. In fact, I can't even do both of those for myself.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I barely
it's like,
can take care of myself.
You can't do it all. Like it's impossible.
Yeah.
And then that's why like self-care and things like that are even just like a luxury and this whole like move for like mental health and like self-care.
Take care of yourself. It's like I need time to take care of myself.
I can't afford to a lot of people can't afford to take care of themselves. They can't afford to do the nice things for themselves that make them feel good to be able to be a part of society.
Yeah. Yeah. And we were talking too about like all these ideas about like healing now that are like popular. It's like a lot of these ideas are what people were doing before colonization and all these horrible things happened. And now like we're selling it back to people now.
Ooh, damn.
That was a really interesting perspective.
Damn, that's especially with like Indigenous Peoples Day coming up. That's
well, it's just, I mean, everything that they make money off of. I mean, this whole society is built on basically stealing the power, indigenous knowledge and wisdom, wiping out intergenerational and ancestral fucking wisdom, and making us ill on purpose, and then taking like the small pieces of that and selling it back to the people. And
it's not accessible to a lot of people now, right?
It's not accessible to a lot of people. Like that's the thing, is the people that it's accessible to are people who already come from privileged places. People who have already been, you know, disenfranchised the most will continue to be, you know, separated from.
Yeah. Well, I think that it's like, it's unfortunate because I lived in a really small town, so we lived right next to a reservation. And so like the thing that I noticed was just like how little we had given them, and like that was, you know, it's like, oh, well, we put them on reservations. Like, have you been to a reservation? It's a ghetto. It's a trailer park that's / ghetto. That's like I can't think that we feel like we're absolved of that because we gave them that.
No, and they build them on the least valuable land intentionally and take all.
Wow, I didn't even think about that. That's 100%.
Oh, it's totally intentional.
Yeah, and I mean, how can you even talk about we gave them something? You gave somebody something that you took. You took the whole piece of the pie, and then you gave somebody a fucking sliver, and you're
the worst
like,
part,
but we gave this to you, and it's just like, but motherfucker, you took it. Like, what the flip is wild.
Well, that's how we get taught.
Will flip the fucking truth. Like,
that's how they teach it. That's how they teach it in public school.
Be grateful.
Yeah.
They skip over the part that it was how it got stolen and everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
So like as far as like excuse me, Zoe, as far as you asking the next question. Sorry.
No, ask a question if you have a question.
I guess I'm just kind of like curious, like what impact would you say like recently that like capitalism has had like on your mental health, and just seeing how that shows up in your life?
All the time.
Damn, that's crazy.
In so many ways. I mean, I'm struggling personally with a lot of health issues that I'm not able to address because I am constantly under you know, trying to stop myself from getting crushed beneath the wheel. And really, it makes me sad in a lot of ways, and not just for myself, but for everybody else. You know, because it's not just me. Because it would be easy if it were just me, but to see how many other like people that I love and care about, or people that I don't know that are, you know, just.
There's people you will never get
about water, but just, you know, and people who say, and they think that the problem is them. Like that's,
Yeah.
you know, because it's really easy to feel like something's wrong with you and the problem is you and you've done something to deserve this fucking shit that's been fucking like handed to you.
They send the message that it's your fault.
It's your fault and you're not
just
fucking
work
working
harder.
Yeah. So I think a lot of like, for instance, always struggle with my mental health, but I'm really aware of how like I'm a struggle with I'm anemic and I have vitamin deficiencies and things like that. And so I know that being anemic causes chronic fatigue, and I have issues with overgrowth of candida, and that can cause fatigue and depression. And when you go to the doctor, you can't afford, like, all they give you is drugs. They don't give you medicines. They give you drugs for the fucking
keep you in pain, but to keep you kind of like to get you out of it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And if you'd had what you needed in the first place, healthcare wise, you wouldn't be at the point. It's like they're only helping you once it's already an emergency.
Exactly. And I think about like the years that I spent just like hustling, like in New York, sleeping 3 hours a fucking night and skipping so many meals, and how that lack of nutrition and that lack of sleep has affected now
your decision making,
my decision making, and my current and future health.
And sleep is super important.
And it's fucking depressing and it's upsetting. And I want us all to realize that it's not our fucking fault.
That's something that me and you really bond over, that concept of like the shame you feel is imposed on you, like really from the outside almost always. And as much as you can have a PMA, positive mental attitude and shit like that, it's hard.
It's, and you can keep that. And that's like one of the things that is, that I try to maintain as an affront to the system is to keep my spirit in spite of the fucking crushing circumstances at this
I like that. That's really all you can do is they always say, oh, all you can control is your mood, but it's like they really like they can take away everything from you, but like the way that you choose to view it is the one thing that like they can't take away your perspective, like short of brainwashing. They really can't take away your perspective. I would definitely say that, like, for me, the way that like I've noticed that it shows up is just it's like the grind, like in the grind in so many aspects of my life of like feeling like I'm not doing enough because I'm not doing everything, or because I didn't do something today, I didn't do anything today. It's like, you rested. That's an action.
Exactly.
I feel like rest isn't enough of a celebrated thing, more people will tell you about how hard they worked than how much they rested.
Exactly.
I read a self-help book one time where like a whole chapter about it was an anti-diet book, but it was still a self-help book, and a whole chapter was about how she was like, just fucking rest, like lay the fuck down, you don't have to do anything, because we're all going a lot of people
can't afford that though, and that's the thing, and that's the other thing, that capitalism sullies even the good things, because it's like I'm at a point in my life where I am like having a lot of like positive things as far as like my career and things that I want to do and projects that I want to do. But as happy as I am, I'm frustrated because I feel like I'm forced to do it at a pace with capitalism. And I don't want to live at that fucking pace. I know that is the pace that is destroying me. And it's like, so no matter how much joy I take from being able to excel in these things that I'm excited about, I'm upset at the fact that I'm forced to do it in this box of capitalism.
It still takes a toll on your body because you have to follow that pace.
You gotta, you gotta do this
well,
to be successful.
The thing that you're trying to do, you can only do if you're housed, if you're clothed, if you've eaten, if you've, you know what I mean? Like the things that we want to do are only accessible after we've made enough money to, satiate capitalism. So,
exactly.
A lot of our stuff just kind of ends up on the back burner, and I appreciate you talking about that. When you spoke with us last time, we were talking with Amanda about it's like financial stress, and it's like I think it's funny that it just like it kind of just circles back because it's it really is like the thing that Zoe and I were talking about was just the idea that like a lot of our mental health struggles are also under the umbrella of the systems that keep us mentally unwell. So I think it's just super important to acknowledge the role that systems play in our mental health.
Absolutely. And it's hard to be successful. Everybody want to talk about, oh, well, he was successful fucking while he was living in his car and homeless with his son, but how many people can't fucking rise above that? I'm dealing with housing insecurity right now, and I just had to cancel a show that I was planning to produce because it's just too much on my plate right now.
I get that.
I was like, I was talking to the guy I was producing it with, and I was just like, I'm sorry I didn't do the things I was supposed to do this week. I've been really preoccupied and had a hard time focusing because of the shit that's just come up with my housing situation. And luckily I have people in my life who are understanding.
Well, and that's how your art
gets a setback.
Yeah, it impacts your art because you don't have the energy to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you're tired by the end of the day, it's impossible to like, okay, now I'm going to work on art, the thing that's not making any fucking
money. But that's the thing that helps your mental health.
Keeps you fucking wanting, gives you the zest to live.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, that's perfect. All right, well, we're going to take a real quick commercial break and we'll be right back with a smoke break. We're here every Sunday from 9 to 10 a.m. on Shady Pines Radio, as well as Pretty Dope Xperience Radio.
Hey.
And we are back with the smoke break. We're here every Sunday from 9 to 10 a.m. on Shady Pines Radio, as well as Pretty Dope Xperience Radio. I'm your host, Gerald Pausane, here with Zoe Schwartz.
Hello.
And Ronnie Macaroni.
Hey.
That's her name. It's Ronnie.
Yeah,
Ronnie. Anybody asks.
Yeah.
Ronnie.
Get it straight. Jeez.
So the thing that we wanted to talk about on this portion of it is just basically the idea that, like, I think if you view it through the right lens, a lot of neurodivergency could be seen as a superpower.
Yeah.
I think that ADHD, what do you think that it would be the superpower in ADHD?
What I've heard about this is like, I've heard that like people who are ADHD or other types of neurodivergent, like like I identify as having ADHD, but our brains are able to make like bigger leaps and sort of like think outside the box in the way, like that's how we're wired. And so the idea that like there's more creativity that can come from that.
I can see that.
But it often needs like more structure. So like I think just thinking about things that have been hard for you, like if you identify as having a learning disability or a learning difference, the ways that also makes you better at certain things than other people or able to think outside of the norm. And so kind of thinking about it like that, I think made me feel better. Like, oh yeah, I do have things that are cool about me. I also have things that are challenging about the way my brain works.
I think the coolest thing about superpowers, because I'm a huge comic book fan, my favorite thing about superpowers is that every good superpower has a good weakness, Oh
yeah.
So it's like, so as much as these things, boost us up, they also kind of bring us down. But I feel like we think of it in the opposite way, is like, it's not boosting us up, it's bringing us down, and we're trying to think of a way it brings us up.
Yeah.
So with maybe any neurodivergence that you experienced, what would you say would be maybe the superpower for it?
Oh gosh. I don't know.
It's a hard reframing. It's a hard reframing.
I have a hard time with neurodivergence, just the word.
Okay, yeah, we'll explain that.
Well, I didn't know about that until I moved to Portland. Like I've always known that I had like some kind of learning disabilities or whatever you want to say.
Mental illness or whatever we call it.
Mental illness or things that I've compensated for throughout my life. But I sometimes like there's a part of this conversation that is like it's kind of privileged.
Sure.
Like there's there's certain people that suffer that don't know. Like it's like kind of like how when I went to college, I learned about phrases and ways of explaining things that we were experiencing.
Yes.
It's like, oh, they're just talking about what we're going through, and we don't even have the words to describe what we're going through.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
they have a name for it. We don't even know how to describe how we feel about it.
They're not going through it. It's like they're looking down on us, describing what we're going through.
Yeah.
So it can be kind of alienating sometimes, I think, like as a person who doesn't know all of the jargon. But otherwise, I don't know.
I think that's a really good perspective because I had other friends tell me that like when we were in school, it felt that way sometimes going to social work school. It's like you're learning about all these harmful systems, and some of us have been part of them, some of us haven't, right?
Sure.
But like obviously a lot of people that are in a grad program, I mean, I think a social work program probably half and half, there were more people probably that had lived experience than not.
Yeah.
But like it's still that like learning the like academic understanding of people's oppression and then going in and being like, hey, I have a word to describe this like horrific shit you've been through, and you haven't even had the privilege or the ability to learn about it from a systemic perspective because you've just been living it.
Exactly.
And that's a privilege to be able to even have that context.
Yeah.
And it's weird to talk about.
And even just like the idea that like it could, if it was a superpower, if you don't know how you have a superpower, it immediately becomes like if your power is that you can burst into flames, but you don't know that you do that, that's a fucking problem.
Yeah, you can't harness it if you don't understand it.
If you don't understand it,
that's a good point.
But yeah, I think I'm like really my powers of like observation and
Yeah.
environmental observation. I had a friend tell me that I was like a genius with my environment before,
Yeah.
just
You are.
because I'm able to like see. I observe the things, and I don't know.
No, that's
I
part of
know,
what makes
I-
you a really good comedian, though, too. You can command the room because you are noticing everything that's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
think-
it also drives me insane.
Well, yeah, because you're
Yes.
overly
Same time, yeah, because I'm overly fucking aware.
Taking
Like
in
Yeah.
a lot.
I'm hyper
Yes.
aware of everything around me.
Yes,
I can relate
I
to that.
similarly,
Yeah.
can relate to that one of being like hyper aware of like, hey, in the right context, this could be comedy. In the other context, it's conflict, and
Yeah.
it's just, I can. But I think being able to view it as being hyper aware of like, yes, I am good at observing. I am good at like picking
Yeah.
up on
Yeah.
things in my environment.
That other people aren't picking up on.
Yeah.
And that can make you feel crazy too.
Yes, it
Totally.
can.
Yeah.
Yes, it
Because when you
can.
try to describe to people who
Do
don't,
they brush
don't
their
see-
nose and
yeah.
they're like,
what do you mean I don't see what you're seeing? Like,
Mhm.
you're insane. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, so I'm have a different fucking reality than
Yeah.
everybody else.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
and I'm aware, and that's scary.
Do you ever think of that as
Oh,
no, it is. Do you ever think of that as like hypervigilance, like that term that's like related to like experiencing a lot of trauma when you're younger? Like that,
Oh,
and that can be
yeah.
misinterpreted as neurodivergence.
And that's the other thing. Like, a
Or
lot of
maybe
things.
what
that
came first, the
people-
chicken or
yeah,
the egg, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of things that are in the because autism is in the DSM,
So is
right?
ADHD, I think.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
and so does ADHD, and so is fucking PTSD, and they all have overlapping
Symptoms.
traits, and it's all like, so what is it? Are you just born autistic, or do some people do you become?
Yeah, I don't
like,
know what
from the environmental circumstances and
Yeah.
things like that.
I've wondered that. Well, yeah, there's a lot of controversy about what causes autism, right? Because people, I don't think they don't totally know. But I also think like the fact that we know that like trauma is passed down
Yes.
intergenerationally to me shows there is some evidence that differences in our brain and the way they function could be rooted in things that have happened.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know it's a combination of our environment and our
Yeah.
history and our
Yeah.
biology. It's just complicated, but I think you're right. I think it's
Yeah.
when you look at it differently, it could be seen as a reaction to trauma, maybe, right? From
Yeah.
some people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, and then because of that, even just connecting what you were saying, that even if it's not personal trauma that you've experienced,
Yes.
because of generational and ancestral trauma,
Yes.
that can changes your
It's
brain.
in your DNA.
Yeah, it's in
Yeah.
your DNA, and so
Your brain forms around
you're
it.
processing it like it had happened to you a million times, even if
Yeah.
it's only happening to you for what feels like the
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
time.
And then when you learn about your family history, then all of a sudden these
You're like,
pains that
"Oh,
live
yeah."
inside of you make sense for the first time. It's like, oh my gosh.
Totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, well, I would say for like bipolar, that's one that like I always have a really hard time like
Mhm.
being like, what's the power in this? But I think that it is the power to experience and in some cases be able to describe extreme emotions.
Yeah.
You know, like I write a lot of my hip hop from a sad perspective, but that's
Mhm.
only because I have felt those feelings so intently.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, and feeling happy emotions, like you to be able to describe those emotions, you would have had to have felt them, and
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
to be able to describe them to most people in a relatable way is even more difficult. So I guess I try to see it in that, and like mania. Oh man, mania. Fucking love that shit.
So fun.
So fun.
Such a
Yeah.
good time.
Everybody around me hates
my
it, but
God.
oh my God, I have a blast.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. You're
Love
just
it.
like, I got super speed.
Yeah.
I'm super creative.
Love
Let's
my-
do it.
Yeah,
You're
I
on the
love
most
myself.
beautiful-
I love everything
Yeah,
I do.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Everything I've ever
yeah.
made is amazing, and then the other side of it comes, and I'm like, everything I've ever made is garbage.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
like
the weakness for the superhero or the
Yeah.
superpower. You know, there's yeah,
You know,
yeah,
You know what that makes me think about? How we've talked about how there's like we've talked about being a really like sensitive person or a person who has a lot of emotion, but it also it's like it gives you a broader range of emotions.
yeah,
I think about like maybe people with bipolar. It's like that obviously that range is broader, but it kind of in the same way offers, like you guys were saying, like
Yeah.
different experiences that people who don't have that broad of a range
yeah.
don't get to experience.
Yeah, or wouldn't have words for it just because,
Mhm.
like, as somebody who's felt those things so intently, it's like I wrote a song recently about anger and just how the times that it's when it's explosive or just directed at other people, and it's not just self-destructive, it's destructive. Like that's something I could only write having felt that so intently. And people who deal with anger issues are like, yes, you're right. You understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Well, yeah. And you're giving words to things because that's part of the other thing is like life is is so much of a feeling experience, and sometimes we do a disservice by trying to explain these things in words, but also like you have a gift in your ability that you are able to translate these emotions and feelings into words and give words to things that a lot of people just are looked at like they're a problem because they don't have the ability to describe and explain what they're going to.
And I would
cogent,
and they can see themselves in your words. And
I would extend the same to you because I feel like you are also able to, with just so many varieties of topics, being able to talk about things that other people like just feel so much shame or so much pain that like you, by talking about those things and having experienced those lived experiences, makes it creates a point of connection where other people might not have had one. So I agree. Appreciate what you do.
I agree. You both have that skill. That's a really good point. And I was going to say, before I even really knew Ronnie very well, your comedy spoke to me in that way. Like the first time I heard her comedy, I was like, wow, that's crazy. And then when I became friends with you on social media and I heard you talk about your experiences, and I was like, oh, she is talking from her real experiences.
Yeah.
Like, this is so powerful, you know, like, because you don't know when you first meet someone, are they just talking about really hard shit and they don't know what they're talking about, or are they trying to be shocking someone? Yeah. But it's different when you, and I got to know you and I was like, wow, this is so funny and so raw, but so like important too. Like you're saying important shit in a really funny way.
In the truth.
Yeah.
And that's really what I wanted to do. If I go back to like my initial goals with comedy, however they've grown, is that, you know, I always wanted to talk about the things that I was embarrassed of or ashamed of, or the things that you don't want to talk about, the things that we allow to fester in the dark and that cause isolation, and that isolation in turn like makes everyking worse,
makes our mental health worse.
It makes the mental health worse. Like there are certain things I'd hate to bring it, like I don't want to bring it up.
Hey, it's a show.
There's, you know, like incest, molest, and rape is something that's really, really common in the world, and it's more common than we know. And it's one of the reasons why the sexual abuse statistics are so thrown off, because there are people who will never talk about it and never tell, because there's so much shame tied to it and attached to it, and personal shame. And so my goal in getting on stage is like, I feel like I feel like I said this the last time, I feel like if you can do something, that you have a duty to do that for people. And whether or not anybody ever comes for, and I wish people wouldn't, because I'm not a therapist. I'm not a therapist. So like, you know, when people come forward and they want to talk and they're like, oh my gosh, you're me or whatever. I'm just here doing a service so you can go home and feel less alone.
Totally.
And then maybe you can talk about it with somebody who knows you.
No, and that's a good boundary.
I'm supportive to an extent.
Yeah, no, that's a good way to think about it too, because you have to have boundaries when you share raw parts of yourselves like that. And I think that's probably part of how you're able to do it.
I can't be a vessel for your stuff, but I can come speak my truth. And so that way, whether you say it out loud or you don't, you get the sense inside of you that you are not alone. And then maybe that shame can fucking dissipate just a little bit more. And get you to
hell yeah, that's why I love you.
Yeah.
Well, lots of reasons.
Yeah,
Ronnie.
Lots of reasons. We are going to be beeping this whole episode. We're going to be right back with a smoke break. We're here every Sunday from 9 to 10 a.m. on Shady Pines Radio, as well as Pretty Dope Xperience Radio. And we are back with the smoke break. We have our musical guest here, Figure 8, super dope rapper, super dope person, and I'm really excited to showcase them for you today. So go ahead and do what you do.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. Beautifully done. My name is Figure 8. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I live in Portland now. Shout out to Smoke Break for having me. I appreciate it. Well done. Expert. Yep, I'm ready. This song's called Bankroll. It just dropped a couple days ago.
It's Lil D.
My bankroll. Only ever worry about my bankroll. Lately though, I gotta say thankful. I know that I got too many angels, and my plate full. My bankroll. Only ever worry about my bankroll. Lately though, I gotta say thankful. I know that I got too many angels, and my plate full. My bankroll bigger than a tanko. I got all these shooters, you get hit from every angle. Simple to blunt, if you gon' wonder where the flame go. Tattoos on my ankle, I go where you can't go. Focus on the money, swimming up with all the fishes. Divvy up all the riches and then keep it in the business. Isn't this the easiest shit you ever did? It's like it's simpler than addition. I've been limping like a pimp from all these digits in my skinny jeans. I'ma get that motherfucking money, that's by any means. Yeah, I'll take your dimes, quarters, nickels, give me pennies, please. Hennessy, I'm sipping and it's fucking on my energy. Leg up on my competition, bitch, I'm like a centipede. Trigger fingers itching if you get in my vicinity. No sympathy, no sympathy. Bullets like a symphony. Yeah, I'm triple X like Vinny D or Timothy. A fight you wanna pick with me, then you should know your hits can run up on my white ass if you wanna. But I got 30 strap piranha, smoke you legal like marijuana. So if you wanna slide, go and find your kids and then just say goodbye. You should've kept them fucking guns up on your Facebook Live. When you die from fig, tell them angels hi. I ain't gon' lie, I've been burning through this fucking money, setting bakes on fire. I've been flying with the dubs, you getting penguin high. Penguins on fire. Don Dada, big fish, top shot a thick bitch. I'm probably too fly for these fucking hypocrites. Win all the time, man, they probably getting sick of it. Get a fish, got a fish, damn, we got a lot of my bankroll. Only ever worry about my bankroll. Lately though, I gotta say thankful. I know that I got too many angels, and my plate full. My bankroll. Only ever worry about my bankroll. Lately though, I gotta stay thankful. I know that I got too many angels, and my plate full. My back hurts from all this weight that I carry. If you don't like me, then lick my dictionary. Suck on these ballistics, bitch, I'm high as canaries. Rockstar Joe Perry, life has been so scary. No fairy tales, I got dough, I gotta go bury. Where the fuck was y'all at when I was homeless and broke? Y'all can care about comfort, but I go with the flow. Man, I'm finna act cold, stole this hoe with the show. I could put you in a corner till there's nowhere to go. You ever sleeping with the fishes, throw you over the boat. We living like the mafia, man, we all gon' vote. I remember dark times, so close, overdose. Coast to coast, no joke, fofo in my coat. Ocho with a pole, oh no, he wanna smoke. Don't go loco, doing blow with your hoe. If you want the fish or rap, I need my dough with my dough. Bankroll. Only ever worry about my bankroll. Lately though, I gotta stay thankful. I know that I got too many angels, and my plate full. My bankroll. Only ever worry about my bankroll. Lately though, I gotta stay thankful. I know that I got too many angels, and my plate full. My bankroll.
Yo, that was Bankroll. It was produced by Gemini D, one of the people in my rap group, the Antelope Fisherman. My motherfucking bankroll. Yeah, that was fun. Did you guys have fun? All right, this song is, I've never showed many people. It's coming out in 2 weeks. It's called They Think, produced by Gemini D again from my album. Bear with me, I've never performed it.
Think I'm a god, they think I'm a goat, they think I'm a fraud, they think I'm a...
Yeah. They think I'm a god, they think I'm a goat. They think I'm a fraud, they think I'm a ghost. They think that I lost it, they think I'm exhausted. They think that I already fell off the boat. Think I do drugs, thinking I suck. Thinking that I wanna give them a hug. Thinking it's easy, I think you should be me. Cause if you gon' think it, I've thought it enough.
What if I died? What if I don't? What if I cried? What if I choked? What if I never had nowhere to sleep? What if I always had something to eat? What if my mom and my dad thought that maybe that I could be something that they wanna keep? What if them hundreds of bullets that I had to dodge were just darts that were made out of nerve? What if the antelope fishermen were nothing more than some shit that I put on a shirt? What if we never went put in the work? What if we all didn't come from the dirt? Why is it every time that they call me to fix it, I ended up making it worse? Why do my gifts always feel like a curse? I got it all backwards, so I got desserts. I think that maybe I'm made to be nothing. Everybody say I'm meant for something, but all that I know is dysfunction. I'm causing destruction, I'm skipping my lunches. My stomach gets upset, I think that they want me to crumble, but fuck it, I'm thinking they thinking I thought of the subject, but I didn't want to discuss it, so fuck you, cause this is my family, you ain't gonna touch it. What if one morning I didn't wake up? I like my girl, she don't wear no I'll make up. Get my own money, so fuck a pay stub. So if you gon' owe me, you better pay up. What if one morning I didn't wake up? I like my girl, she don't wear no makeup. I get my own money, so fuck a pay stub. And if you gon' owe me, you better pay up. They think I'm a god, they think I'm a goat. They think I'm a fraud, they think I'm a ghost. They thinking I lost it, they think I'm exhausted. They think that I already fell off the boat. They think I do drugs, they thinking I suck. Thinking that I wanna give them a hug. They thinking it's easy, I think you should be me. Cause if you gon' think it, I thought it enough. Think I'm a god, they think I'm a goat. They think I'm a fraud, they think I'm a ghost. Thinking I lost it, they think I'm exhausted. They think that I already fell off the boat. Think I do drugs, they thinking I suck. They thinking that I wanna give them a hug. They thinking it's easy, I think you should be me. Cause if you gon' think it, I thought it enough. I'm on the mount, here's my pitch. I think that y'all should've fucked with the kid. I think that y'all should be bumping my shit. I think that I should be on all them lists. Why in the fuck do I even exist? I threw them shows and let everyone switch. I dropped a project with Swift. I came with coolness to show y'all the biz. Yeah, I've been pissed. They think I'm pissing the wind. They gonna leave me off this in the end. Here is my order, my list of this Go Kendrick, J, Tupac and Biggie, Andre, Wayne, Slim Shady, my gang and me. And yeah, I know there's some other motherfuckers to listen. And everybody always gonna say there's something I miss, but I just scream, "Soy, baby!" I ain't running from shit, and I'm a son of a gun, and you a son of a bitch, and I'ma keep the shit 100 like the money I get. You had a wonderful life, I'll have some wonderful kids. Tunnel vision, gotta keep the money, funnel the fish. And I remember everybody who made fun of my shit. About to eat these pussy rappers like it's cunnilingus. You drop like 1 or 2 songs, we drop like 100 of shits. And I invented some shit, so I'm offended of shit. If you're friends with the ops, or you're friends with a snitch, you ain't a friend of the fish. I got like 88 points and 7 assists. You know what penmanship is, you better learn to love defeat just like a fetish and shit. You motherfuckers just like Oedipus did. I bet you slept with your bitch, I bet you left with the kids. I bet you can't wake up just like Evan and Sits. And I've been working hard as fuck and got a second to sit. The white dragon story never fucking ends in this bitch.
Whew. Thanks, man. I'm exhausted now. Nope. Here we go. This is called Happy Meal. There's a video for it. Fisherman Films did it. I put my whole junk in a Happy Meal box, if that's your thing. If it's your thing. I don't judge.
They said I had mass appeal. I think life is sad as hell. Walking on some glass and nails. No, I never had a tail. I had Satan grab the whale. We just split like half a pill. Why is life so crappy still? I just pissed off my Happy Meal. They said I had mass appeal. I think life is sad as hell. Walking on some glass and nails. No, I never had a tail. I had Satan grab the wheel. We just split like half a pill. Why is life so crappy still? I just pissed off my Happy Meal. I feel like Drake in the end. Look who I'm fucking again. Had her on ice, but then now I'm on stage, been in a rage, stuck in the lights again. Read about it in a mice and man. They ain't never liked our type of man. Now that I'm popping these Vicodin, thinking I might have just tried to end life again. Then I was trying to learn how to write again. That shit was not just like riding a bike again. If you gon' gas them up, I'm gonna siphon them. Look at what time it is, I think it's time again. I ain't do drugs since the last time at prominence. She want a freak and I'm getting Gianna's big. I wanted dominance, I wanna give them a hope like Obama. They said I had mass appeal. I think life is sad as hell. Walking on some glass and nails. No, I never had a tail. I had Satan grab the wheel. We just split like half a pill. Why is life so crappy still? I just pissed off my Happy Meal. They said I had mass appeal. I think life is sad as hell. Walking on some glass and nails. No, I never had a tail. I had Satan grab the wheel. We just split like half a pill. Why is life so crappy still? I just pissed off my Happy Meal. Pull me apart, then put me together. Just tell me whatever you want me to be. I got some scars, know that forever. Just hoping the better is coming to me. Think I'm too dark, don't think I'm clever, but I bet you'll never be nothing to me. Crashing my car into some metal, but sometimes I wish that I went in the sea. Yeah, I've been beaten and bruised, I've been stabbed, I've been shot at. I pulled a B-rabbit right out of my top hat. You wanted my dick, so you may as well chop it. You low ain't a bob it. I've never been modest, my cock is the size of a hobbit. I'm wishing he would like a cottage. I'm popping my Glock without thinking about it. I know that I'm doubted. I burnt me some bridges, but built me some houses. They said I had mass appeal. I think life is sad as hell. Walking on some glass and nails. No, I never had a tail. I had Satan grab the wheel. We just split like half a pill. Why is life so crappy still? I just pissed off my Happy Meal. They said I had mass appeal. I think life is sad as hell. Walking on some glass and nails. No, I never had a tail. I had Satan grab the wheel. We just split like half a pill. Why is life so crappy still? I just pissed off my Happy Meal. My Happy Meal. My Happy Meal. My Happy Meal, 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 my Happy Meal,
Thank you. I did, but it's fine. I'm totally fine.
I wear my
sure?
Gucci shades to hide the hate that blinds my eyes. So if you're great, just watch for snakes, they coming in disguise. There's roles to play, so know your place before you've wasted time. If death awaits for figure eight, the gang knows that I shot. Bitch, I'm the star that you wishing on. I got some fishing ponds, they gonna pull up with sticks like a wizard on. Hey, you say you're from where you isn't from. Nothing you doing that isn't done. Me and a hustle is one and the same. You can say that with something like synonyms. Yeah, money so long like giraffe. You take showers in a bird bath. Now I'm throwing money right at her ass. Hopping in her whip, I'ma skirt that. Yeah, I heard your raps. Tell me all the shit that you're worse at. Every fucking thing's what we're first at. Used to be a dirtbag, now I made a wave. And you wanna surf at. Pussy, I bet you beef over bitches. Huh? Pussy, I bet you running with snitches. Make him do wop like Lauryn Hill. Make his head look like an orange peel. I on my bro on some foreign wheels. Going overkill, you know the deal. How can I make this clear right now? That I'm cool with every motherfucker here right now. And I'm like, damn, homie. In high school, you was a man, homie. Don't got a heater, you a fan, homie. I got the sickest vendetta. I'm the white swiggle Mandela. Tell me what's drip to umbrellas. And they know I've been to hell and back like I picked up the devil. I bet half of you would die if you tried to get on my level. Hey, I wear my Gucci shades to hide the hate that blinds my eyes. So if you're great, just watch for snakes, they coming in disguise.
Yo, that was produced by Token Turn It Up, local Portland legend. I love him. Yeah. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you for joining us. Yeah, we'll be right back with the Smoke Break. We're here every Sunday from 9 to 10 a.m. on Shady Pines Radio.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we are back with the Smoke Break. We're here every Sunday from 9 to 10 a.m. on Shady Pines Radio, as well as Pretty Dope Xperience Radio. I'm your host, your old pal Zane, here with Zoe Schwartz,
Hello.
Ronnie Macaroni,
Hey.
and Figure Eight.
What up?
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
great.
I had a good time.
Yeah. So you talked a little bit with me when I was asking. I was like, "Hey, what did you want to talk about?" You talked a little bit about having bipolar as well as being an addict as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what role do you think harm reduction has really played? And do you even know a lot about harm reduction?
Not a ton.
Okay.
but
Yeah, it's basically the idea that doing less coke is better than doing more or the same amount of coke.
Sure.
So,
Yeah,
harm
I guess-
reduced.
I guess that's how I stopped.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
was
Proud of you.
it was very quick, but it was just a progression of I'm not gonna feel bad today as long as it wasn't as bad as yesterday,
Yeah.
and go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think that's important. How long did you think that journey's kind of lasted you?
Well, I started doing drugs at 14. So,
Okay, same. Yeah, about that age.
real
Yeah.
early.
Good time.
14, 15. And then right at the top of COVID, I was like, it's time to do a ton of drugs, actually.
Yeah.
And then it petered
Now
out.
that I'm left to my own devices, let's get higher.
Yeah. and no one's here. No one's
Yeah,
here
yeah,
to
I
be
can't be
like,
judged.
"Is this
I'm
a
by myself."
Great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it was, I think everybody hits a bottom.
Yeah.
That's like a cheesy thing to say, but it is true. And you
Mhm.
look at yourself in a metaphysical mirror,
Yeah.
and you either make a change or you don't. That there's like the crossroads.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was definitely a progression for me. I didn't just jump off the boat. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm good now.
Yeah. Well, I don't think anybody does. What about you two? Have you had any experience? And I used to do more, but now I'm doing less. And like, what have you seen that show improvements in your life?
Yeah, I was sober for 4 years.
Congrats.
After I also started at a super early age.
Mhm.
And then and then I've dabbled. And I just having that sobriety, it gives you a different understanding.
Yeah.
Just a different understanding. But definitely, I mean, that's the way to grow, is to just do a little bit at a time. You can't grow if you're beating yourself up. Like,
Yeah.
flowers don't grow if you're stepping on the seed.
Mm-hmm.
No shit.
Yeah, and growth is not
Goddamn.
linear either, especially with hard stuff. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And giving
Absolutely.
yourself the grace that you deserve.
Yeah.
And shit like that.
me and Ronnie have talked about that before. Like with
Yeah.
with like sometimes when you quit a substance or something that you use as like sort of a vice. Doesn't always have to be a substance, right?
Sure.
Like sometimes like you part of the journey of realizing you don't need it in your life anymore is trying it out again too. Like just like there's a relapse in that, it's kind of a real like tight box of a way to talk about it. But I think like in the idea that like a sobriety to relating to substances or vices in a different way does not look one way for everybody, right? Like
and I look at it. I always on the bigger level is that like we use these things because they're just symptoms of a larger problem, and that's probably why you started using more when the pandemic happened. Because you know drugs was just a part of the escapism that we used to help cope with the trauma. We also use constant social interaction and the ability to keep going nonstop and being in like soldier mode as a way to fucking avoid our trauma. And then all you had was yourself.
Was drugs.
Yeah,
myself and drugs. And I know how to mix those two.
I was like, wow, my thoughts are great.
This shit is really traumatizing.
Let's think about it high.
Let's think about it high. That's exactly.
I think being proud of yourself is like one of the most difficult things to do, but it's also like the only way it works at all is like the tiny goals of being like, at least I did that. Like
totally. Yeah.
I bet no one thought I'd do that.
Exactly.
So I'll do that. I didn't think I'd do that.
Yeah.
And that's that harm reduction thing. Like it doesn't have to be perfect. It's a step for you, and you know what a step for you is. In the right direction.
Like maybe I got drunk and I did this or that, but at least I didn't drink and drive. You know?
Exactly. At least I didn't do that and drive.
At least I didn't stab anybody.
Yeah.
You know?
Sometimes that's the best we can do,
Yeah.
Well, I think that, being able to be proud of your progress, I think has been really important, I guess, in my own sobriety, because, maybe I had only ever been sober for a handful of months. And then when it became years, that became a thing that I had to celebrate. Like, yes, people will celebrate it with you, but there's a certain point where, you're just like, hey, I've been sober for 87 days. And people are like, I don't give a shit. Yeah. Tell me in 3-month increments, or maybe like a year.
189.
Yeah. 365 only counts.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that, having those goals for yourself and just being able to recognize them within yourself is super important.
For sure.
Yeah.
So what would you say has been like your main gain from making sure that drugs don't have the hold on you that they do?
Productivity.
Okay.
Productivity.
Yeah.
I've been working on my album and our group's album for like since the beginning of time. Jesus walked the earth.
I figured it's when you started.
Like we've been performing Pussy on My Lips for 4 years and it's still not out. Like it's still, we haven't.
I hope you have.
But like I just couldn't do it. Like I just couldn't motivate. Like I didn't feel good about myself, and even though like I felt good about the music, that made me not want to put it out more. So I was like, if people don't like this, I can't handle. Like this is the best we have to offer.
Yeah.
But like we put out so much music.
Yeah, there was a period where you were like putting out like what it was
365. We did a song a day, but we fell off at
360 fucking 5.
Damn, that's a lot.
We fell off at 275, but that's what the kind of thing is. We always, every time we talk about it, we'll get quiet for a second and get disappointed, and then there's like, but we did 275.
275 is a shitload.
Yeah, it's like even
not something.
Yeah, it's not 75. It's not even 175.
Yeah.
Don't let capitalism be. Make you feel bad about your accomplishments.
And it's recognized.
No, it is. The idea that you have to hit a certain goal is rooted in that same system. Yeah.
And it was a journey that like we got to be proud of together. It was like if we fail, we're failing
together.
Well, and you didn't know how hard that was going to be, right? So you learned 200 and whatever through. You're like, this is fucking difficult. Maybe
honestly probably started as a coked out like, what if we Nipsey Hussle would have? He said so. Let's like it. It's our
what would Nipsey do? I feel you. I got the bracelet.
Our entire group was very much so. What if we did this? And then a moment of no, let's just run with that. See what happens.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
How do you think that that's like kind of fueled in the creativity of just having people that are like, why not? Why not? Let's do it.
Well, there's like 20 of us, so like it's very
one
hard.
of you had to be like, oh fuck it, I ain't got nothing to do.
The spontaneity of it, I think, is important because we can't all get all 20 of us together, and when we do, it's not like let's just sit down today and write and talk about it. It's like we are in the studio today, right? Let's talk about it now. Let's get it done.
Yeah.
But it's added a certain pressure to us, which I think was important because we just weren't doing stuff. We were just depressed and couldn't motivate to record ourselves anymore because of how much work it was. And if you can't take a shower, it's kind of hard to be like, yo, bro, do you want to sit and record for 3 hours and listen to me be bad?
Yeah. While stinking.
Yeah. It's the same time period.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's that whole like having enough time to take care of yourself to be able to do the things that you want to do thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
Which is why it's like almost like you got a commune. You all set up a collective.
When our youngest member, we have like a fish house. There's always one house where the most of us live in at a time.
Yeah.
We call that fish house.
Can I come live there?
Yeah. If you were listening to earlier parts of the episode.
When our youngest member moved in, his dad like helped him unload. I helped him bring all this stuff into his room, and then his dad left. He thanked me like to give him an opportunity or whatever, and then he looked at me and went, my dad asked me if this was a cult. The first thing, like we pulled up and he went, this is a cult, right?
This is a cult, right? I was kind of hoping it was.
If we can get registered as a religion.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Call the fish house the aquarium.
Every day Tom Cruise is
Scientologists
alive
can do it,
means
you
I
can do
deserve tax exemption
Yeah.
for the Church of the Fish.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The Church of the
Especially
Fish.
just a bunch of people doing creative shit.
That's legit. Yeah. Fuck the
Yeah,
system.
and
Exactly.
like we were all
And
addicts
take back the fish
together.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take back the fish. Yes. This is just the fish.
That's not a bad idea. I could put that on a shirt. Just take it back. Be like, give it Satan orange or something. Just controversial.
Look at that. All right, we got merch coming out.
I'm telling you, I got ideas. Bro.
Rachel's an idea woman.
So
Ronnie.
So as far as like creativity and stuff, would you say that you have felt more creative during those times that you took breaks, or would you feel like you felt more creative when you maybe are inspired by substances?
Oh gosh, I felt inspired, throughout it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Obviously when I'm manic, when I'm like super fucking depressed, I find it hard to produce anything. And that's what I heard somebody talking about. She was like, I didn't write because I was happy. And I was like, I don't know. When I'm really depressed, I'm not producing anything. Like I'm not getting.
I produce depressing things.
Yeah, I produce depressing shit, but not the kind of stuff.
It's a reflection of how I'm feeling.
Yeah, but
there's like a part where you're like not, but then when you start to get like I'm like trying to heal again and get mad or whatever.
Yeah, when you get exactly. But a lot of my being able to produce comes from like movement, and moving my body. So it's like when I'm in a fucking job that I don't like, it's important to be able to take fucking notes because I'm writing in my mind.
In your head.
I'm writing in my mind constantly, and I'm having my own narrative in my mind regardless of what I'm having to physically fucking do and perform.
Yeah. I think that's just the only way to survive capitalism is to have your own space up here.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mental
So
freedom.
dude, it's the shackles are real.
I don't have to pay rent in my brain.
Yeah.
Stop letting other people stay there without paying rent is my problem.
Jesus Christ. No shit,
I should be a billionaire.
Their brains are living in my brain rent free.
I remember the first time someone said that to me, like, you're letting that person live in your brain or in your mind rent free. And I was like, ooh, that's a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
I'm paying their rent.
Yeah.
Their brain rent.
Bruh, it's like I'm a slumlord or something.
Yeah. And I live here too. So what am I doing? I'm my own deadbeat landlord.
So real quick, we got about 5 more minutes. I just want to ask you just a few more questions. What would you say that is the thing you're the most proud of having created in your sobriety from certain substances?
Honestly, everything we're about the stuff I performed today was right after I got, so that's why like on one of the songs I say I haven't done drugs since the last time at Prominence, which was literally like my last day was a Swiggle. Shout out to Swiggle show. I embarrassed myself in front of him, and then was like, that's probably enough.
That's sometimes what it takes. That's sometimes what it takes.
For sure.
Yep.
I've been in this rock alternative rap group for as long as I've been in the Fisherman. We've never recorded or released a song, and that's like the first year of me being sober. We did that, and it's like
I remember watching you go and perform.
Scientifically different than everything I do. Like it's alternating time signatures, and there's mandolins and African.
We used to have a mandolin.
Like sweet. I love them. Like now I do. I didn't know it really existed outside of Lord of the Rings before.
Yeah.
But it was.
This isn't just a joke instrument?
Yeah, I thought it was like a lute. You know, like,
Shout out to Mandolin Deal.
Yeah, shout out to a mandolin deal.
The old host, her name was a mandolin.
Yeah, it was a dumb pun. I'm sorry.
We're all laughing. He's like, why is it funny? We're like, we should have filled him in on the joke first.
dad puns are my thing.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hey, I got you.
As long
I
as
got
it
you.
hits.
Was that a dad joke?
If you know the reference, it can hit.
Christ.
I didn't want.
Wow.
I like
missed
looked
it. What
down
happened?
in shame. I was like, damn it.
I missed it.
He said it's a dad joke as long as it hits.
Oh, that's a good.
It's a dark dad
and funny
joke.
and punny. We're here for that.
Yeah, well, meet the new host
It
of
was
the
a
smoke
dad
break.
pun
I'm all done.
dark joke.
Yeah, I'm no longer the host. Meet
Apparently
figure
we're
eight.
triple threat over here.
Yeah, for real.
You comedy too.
Homeless and abused. And
You
ready
actually-
to make jokes.
You actually wanted to do comedy, right?
Yeah, I've done a couple of
That's where a
sets
lot of
now.
jokes
Yeah, have you actually been to Ronnie's room?
I have not.
Ronnie actually runs a really dope open
I
mic.
run a
Oh,
dope
it's hella
mic.
dope.
It's
No
every
shit.
Thursday. It's at Haymaker. It's called Comedy Smash.
Sweet.
It's a mic, but it's a curated list, and yeah, we get a solid ass audience.
It's very fun. You should
Yeah.
come.
I'm still very nervous doing it. It's like I've rapped since I was 8 years old,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like
You should be.
I've
Yeah.
You should come watch
A
that.
I've
healthy
done
amount of
comedy like
doubt.
6
Yeah.
times,
Exactly, yeah,
and every
exactly.
time it's like you shouldn't be up here.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do. You do a whole other thing.
Yeah. You're all, why you
Do a
trying to
whole
have
other-
this too,
like
you
the-
greedy?
You can't possibly be good at more
Oh,
than one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're already better than Ti.
Does he try?
Oh man. Shots fired. T.I. listens
do
to this.
that?
He did.
Yeah, exactly. I said it.
Expeditiously,
Find
he
me.
does. Like right when it drops,
As
he's
soon as it drops, yeah, he's on
I
it.
hope
Yeah.
I go viral.
Yeah.
fuck
I already have her
Ti.
views.
I'm a rapper. I can't. Can I say that? Post this.
Why do we hate T.I.?
I'm just. Oh, I don't hate his music,
oh.
but I do hate that he thinks he can fucking just walk on stage and be
Yeah.
a comedian.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh,
Yeah,
did
he
you?
did. Yeah, he
Okay,
got
but
like
out of
booed
the
off
loop.
stage.
Oh, okay, I get it. I get
Exactly.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
See,
Check
I don't
that
want
out
to
now.
be Ti.
Yeah, well, that's
and,
that's-
and, you don't, and most comedians don't have
Be
the
Donald Glover,
platform
not
or
yet.
the
T.I.
self awareness to avoid being Ti, like to have the self awareness to be like, I don't want to be that person,
Yeah.
puts you a little bit ahead of that
Yeah, and
person.
to realize it takes a different skill to be able to do comedy. So just
Exactly.
'cause
You
you
either
get
die a
on-
hero or live long enough to become Ti.
As the saying goes,
You know what they say.
Yeah,
what
you
a
know-
wise man.
You know that old adage.
the old adage. All right, well, that has been
Yo
the smoke
mama.
break. Thank you.
She's a yo mom.
That's what she just said. The old
My mom
adage.
hates being called an old adage.
That's what she said.
Hey.
That's my mom's stripper name. The old adage.
Old
actually.
adage.
See, he is a comedian.
I'm telling you, I bring some pretty dope people. Well, that has been the smoke break. We
Thank
are
you
here
for
every
having
Sunday from 9 to 10 a.m. on Shady Pines Radio. I've been your host, your old pal Zane, here with Zoe Schwartz,
Bye.
Ronnie Macaroni,
Yeah.
and Figure Eight. Go check out his music.
Thanks for
Check
being
it out.
here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Later,
guys.
players.
Detroit.
I say die.